alongside Timmy.
Our viewers, my name is Honorable Yozuwa Johnson Akwanima. People call me EJ. That's my mission. Representing the good people of Ego, Global Africa Conference, the habit of the nation. And this is my story on AI.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story. This is my story.
This is my story. This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
My brothers and sisters, this is my story.
Today, we bring you the story of Bishop EDET MFON, how he rose through the ladder despite his childhood challenges. Please stay tuned and be inspired.
Have you heard me today? I need you to know that this is my story from rags to riches.
My name is Adechon Shote, Ni Aboaba. This is my story. I can't tell you everything, you know.
My name is Bishop Dr. EDET MFON. I was born on the 10th of October 1960 in a village then called Afaretugibesigbo. I grew up, attended my primary school, and then went to Itinan and attended my secondary school in Itinan. After my secondary school days, I joined the Nigerian Police Force, and I served with the Nigerian Police Force for a short while. It was during my service with the Nigerian Police Force that I got born again, I got saved, I got to know the Lord. And my new encounter with Christ did not go down well with what I was doing. So after my years of service, there's a period called the year of re-engagement. I decided to disengage from the police force and then moved down to Kaduna and then started a job with a company known as Kaduna Furniture and Companies, the carpet industry. So we're the pioneer workers of that. Going to my childhood experience, I was not born in a home that was very rich, but at the same time, we were not the poorest in the community. So we grew up with other children, and during my childhood, I could remember I was born twins, identical twins. I lost my twin brother 2010. And as a child, the village life was a life of struggling to survive. My father was not quite educated, but he loved education, and he made sure that every one of us went to school. And during our school years, in the primary level, I think that was shortly after the war, I finished my primary school and I entered the secondary school. There were a lot of interruptions in life. since life was not too good, but not affecting our education. We're not exposed to the city life. We're not exposed to what others were exposed to. We live a life in the village. We're very comfortable. But my first outing in life was after my secondary school. That was when I left, my home to join the police force. I'm married. I have 6 children, 3 ladies and 3 boys. And I'm a grandfather with 2 children. So, my daughters, some are working, some are overseas. I had a father that was too caring, in fact I should say over-caring, that he does not want you to go out because he doesn't want you to suffer. But at a point in life I realized that if I stay with my parents, I will not become anything. So I venture out. One of the times I ventured out was when I joined the police. And I quite remember one day my father came to where I was staying, and he said to me that I still have a vacancy in the house, that if life is not too good, I should come back. And I told him that I want to become a man, that I have to struggle to become somebody. I think that was one of the things that helped me in life. Sometimes I have faced challenges, like when I left the police force after giving my life to Christ, I moved to Kaduna. It was not all well. I got to a point in my life that I didn't even know when my next meal would come. So I had a lady that was selling buka. This food is ready. So every time I go to her to get some meals, she will ask me as usual. As usual means no meat. I said sure. So one day I hit a jackpot. So I went to her again, and she said to me, as usual. I said, no, this time unusual. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I need 2 lumps of meat. Because life was getting better. I quite remember maybe there was a time as a child of God, a Christian. My brother then was a lecturer in the University of Ibadan. I learned to live, struggle to become something. And I quite remember that I lost all my clothes. So I had 1 shirt. I had 1 trouser. Why? Because they stole all the clothes that I had. And they left only 1 British suit that my brother brought for me from Britain. So every day I go to church, I wear that shirt. I will sometimes wear suit, sometimes I will not wear suit. So one Sunday morning, as I was about getting ready to go to church, I took the shirt. When I put this hand, as I wanted to slaughter in the other hand, the shirt tore from top to bottom. The bag was open. And I looked at it, tears came out of my eyes. I said, but I must go to church. And it was during dry season. So I carried the suit and covered the nakedness. So when I go to the church was low, the body was zinc, the top was zinc, so you can imagine the heat. And we were dancing, and I was sweating from head to toe. So one of the brothers came to me and said, bro, why don't you remove this suit and get fresh air? I said, no, don't bother, I'm comfortable. He didn't know that I was covering my nakedness. So people thought that I loved suit, but they didn't know that it was condition that made me to behave the way I did. But today, I don't think clothes can be my problem. I told my children, I said, if it is food, we can never be hungry. If it is clothes, we can never be naked. And if it is car, we can never trek. We paid the price, and God saw us through to where we are today.
As early as 11, I could go to the market, shop, come home, I cook for the whole family, a family of 10 at that tender age.
Sometimes I have to go selling akara to make some little money or to be given some few of those akara as part of the payment.
From JS3 to XS3, I was working in the market in Warri, in a particular market called Besu Market. I was pushing wheelbarrow and truck, then as a student.
Put your trust in God. I knew when I met God that I was a star. I knew when I met with God that I would succeed. Number 2, believe in yourself, your personal self. Believe that you can make it, you can become something. In this world, there are 3 people in your life. There are people that are sent to help you. There are people that are out there to watch you. And there are people that are out there to laugh at you. So you may not know who is coming to help. And sometimes people don't help you to start. They only help you to continue. So if you believe in yourself, irrespective of what people do to you, irrespective of what people say about you, if you want to succeed in life, close your ears against the wall. Open your heart to God. Success in life is ability to see the vision of tomorrow. If you can see your tomorrow and believe you get there, no devil under the sun can stop you. I had a lot of challenges. I had people who never believed that I would become something. One day, one of my cousins who was married to a general then came to Calabar, and she saw me. She saw where I was living, and she was like, and she came around and said, call me by my first name. He says, this is not this MFON that used to run naked and that. I say, if you call me that name where others are, they will beat hell out of you, because it's not that MFON you made yesterday that is the MFON you see today. So one thing in life is believe God, believe in yourself, believe people can help you, but don't wait and expect that people should help you, because it's not everybody that are out there to help you. If you believe in yourself, believe in what you are, believe in what you have, know, because the greatness of a man is not outside, it's inside. People can speak about what they see about you, but you believe what you know that you have on the inside of you. So to succeed in life, to encourage yourself even when nobody encourages you. The Bible said, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. So encourage yourself, put yourself together, pick your pieces. God is not looking for good people. God is not looking for perfect people. He's looking for people he can make perfect. So if God can find somebody who is willing to be made perfect, it's a raw material in the hands of God. I come to discover that life is so short and it ought not to be wasted. So when I look at others, I hear the stories of others. For instance, let me use the story of the late Archbishop Benson Idahosa of blessed memory. That is one of the men that I watch and I grew, and I know that before I leave this world I will be bigger than him. He's my Oga. That man was born a sickler to a royal family, in quotes. And the mother was a very respectful wife. Because he's always sick, the father told the mother to take that thing, he called it thing, and threw it at the dustbin. So the mother took him to the dustbin, kept him there. By noon she went back, ants have covered the child, but he was still breathing. She picked the child, ran to her father, and that child became the vanguard of the gospel, not only in Africa, in the whole world. He turned Christianity around. So whenever I look at him, I saw his humble background. I discovered that the success and victory in life is not a matter of where you are coming from, it's a matter of where you are going to. You may come from a very poor background. Don't allow it to stuck into your mind. Don't allow it to form the opinion of your life. Don't see it, these people are up here, you can get there. 95, most people you see up there started from nowhere. I also draw motivation from Papa Adeboye. Until he finished secondary school, he didn't know what was called shoes. Me, I knew shoes. Whether it was rubber shoe or whatever, I knew shoes. And today, you can't talk about shoes and mention it to that man. God blesses us. So my motivation in life is when I see others who are nothing, who came from nowhere, and they made it in life. Number two, motivation, which is the greatest, is that I know that God created me for something. I've seen a lot of people who were born together, those who were born before me, those who were born after me, that are no longer alive. But if I'm alive, there's something I'm living for, and I must achieve that purpose. I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Really blessed, because luck is a game of chance. So I didn't come by chance. Like I told the church I preached yesterday in Abuja here, I said I wasn't born by accident, so I cannot die by accident. I wasn't born suddenly, so I can't die suddenly. So I'm not a product of chance. I'm a product of grace and blessing. So I'm blessed. I found grace in the sight of God.
My name is Ugochukwu Omeago. Grew up a young child with polio, survived it and succeeded through it as well. And went to the primary school here in Nigeria and went to a secondary school. Finished from the university here before I traveled to the United States. I have worked in several companies that are blue chip companies. I have built about 4 companies. And each time people see me, they wonder how I did it. But I'm so surprised that they're even shocked, because every human being, regardless of the circumstances you were born, you're always bigger and better when you realize that you have the power to do anything. And I'm sure that if you believe that you can and have the capacity, you can always be anything that you really want. And this is my story.
I don't think difficult childhood can prevent any child from becoming something. The reason is the destiny of a child is not tied to what happens at his birth. If you look at the scriptures, you see a lot of people who had a difficult childhood and they made it in life, both in the Bible and in the secular world. So any child who is determined, any child who is focused, any child who is disciplined, any child who is hardworking, any child who takes life seriously, irrespective of his childhood, early childhood, will surely make it in life. If I have the opportunity to be a child again, I will do many things differently. For instance, there are things you know as an elder which you didn't know as a child. To children, there's a lot of time wasted which we do not consider as time wasted. If you have the opportunity as a child, I would not finish school at the age that I finished. If I have opportunity to be a child again, I will focus, I will give my attention to education, because without education, whether you work with a certificate or not, you need a good educational background to be able to fit into today's society. Number 2, if I have my way of becoming a child again, I will want to influence other children to know God, live a better life, and live a useful life to themselves. And when people are faced with difficult upbringing, if you get out of this country to established countries, they have welfare for the people who may not be able to meet up. It's not that countries or those countries are richer than our country. It's just a matter of good governance, interest in the people. So the role of parents, number 1, is to encourage their children, provide for them. Then the role of the government is to provide for our citizenry, is to make sure that the citizenry, have welfare. Children are encouraged. For instance, there should be free education. Free education will enable somebody who doesn't have a good financial status in the family to ask the children to go to school, at least to secondary school level. Anybody that is able to acquire secondary school certificate can become anything in life at any time. He can have opportunity to go to school, to the tertiary institution at any time. But the basic is this primary and secondary, which the government should look at it. And another thing in government or in covenants is wrong people in right places. Majority of the people we call our leaders, I'm sorry to say this, I'm a man of God, are rooks in the office. They loot the government treasury. Okay, let me not go to that. A young boy was asked by his father to take over his business and start running. And so that boy flew in from UK. And when he saw the money that was coming in and the salary of the staff, he decided to increase the salary of the staffs by 100%. And the father came out, what are you doing? He asked the father a question, what are you doing with this money? The people are hungry. They can't afford this. So if we have people that care, in covenants, that look and love the people and want to sacrifice for the people, not amassing wealth for themselves, that they will die, like what you are hearing today, we are recovering loot money from this country, and even the people that recover money, we are still suspecting, because when they are out of office, we will also know what happened, because you don't know a thief until opportunity comes. So the government should have the interest of developing the people, form a structure that a common man can benefit from it. When Abuja was designed, it was divided into two. Some part were made for the poor and some part were made for the rich, which is not what it's supposed to be. The government is for everybody. And if we vote the government 2019, we vote again. And whether our vote counts or it doesn't count, somebody must come in, and we're the people that vote. So the government should make available welfare for the people. Encourage those who don't have the opportunity to go to school. Make room for people to succeed and survive in life. That is what I think the government should do, and parents should encourage their children. To me, the upbringing of a child is a future investment, because whatever your child becomes tomorrow is what you have helped that child to become. If your child becomes a president, you are the father of a president. If he becomes a criminal, you are father of a criminal. So even when they are bad, let me say this, you don't throw them away. In every bad person, there is something good in that person. In every good person, there's something bad. So why not develop and endure and be patient? This morning I was meditating, and one of the greatest assets that God gives to people is called patience. Ability to be patient with people. Patience will see you through. Harsh decisions will end you where you wouldn't expect. The people you think are better today may not be the best. Let me say this: when we grow up, like I told you at the beginning, I didn't grow from a family that have a golden spoon. We were not rich, but we were not poor, so we're middle class. There was a family we used to look up to in my family. Even though they own everything, they had cars, they had everything, so we look at them as a privileged people, or as a lucky people, so to say, at that time. But a couple of years ago, we lost a woman in my family, so I went to one of the sons of those great family. Came, he saw me. He came to embrace me. And the people that came with me did not allow him to embrace me. These were people that yesterday, if I shake hands with them, I will go to church to do Thanksgiving. Today, he came to embrace me, and he was prevented from embracing me. He looked at the police officer. He said, "Please, sir, let me embrace the bishop. He is my cousin." And I said to the police, when we come home, there's no security at home. Allow my cousin to embrace me. Yesterday, he was a star. Today, I'm the star that is shining. So anybody background does not prevent what he will become tomorrow. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of choice. is not a game of chance. It's a matter of determination. Even though in my wildest imagination I didn't even believe I would be a pastor because of the way I started my life. Maybe if somebody had seen me about 40 years ago, he wouldn't believe if rain fall I will enter church. But when I encounter Christ, my life changed. I'm a preacher within the country and abroad. They call me preaching machine because of my style of preaching. I'm also the scribe, the Secretary General Association of Niger Delta Bishops, which is the umbrella body that governs the bishops within the Niger Delta. And our vision is voice to the voiceless. I'm the presiding bishop of the Harvest Time Bible Church. I am a member of Christian Association of Nigeria, Cross River State Chapter. I'm also advisory council member, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. And by the grace of God, this is my story.
And that's it on My Story today. For your comments and suggestions, please send a text or WhatsApp message to 0806 004 2843. Thank you for staying tuned.